Auschwitz guards! Oh yes, yeah.
It's so great.
Auschwitz! Auschwitz guards! Auschwitz guards! Auschwitz! Treblinka, Krakow, Belsen! Auschwitz guards! Auschwitz! Auschwitz guards! Auschwitz guards! Auschwitz! Auschwitz guards! Auschwitz! Krakow, Belsen, Treblinka, Auschwitz guards! Auschwitz, Treblinka, Krakow, Belsen, Auschwitz guards! Auschwitz guards! Auschwitz guards! Krakow, Auschwitz, Belsen, Treblinka, Auschwitz guards! Auschwitz! Auschwitz guards! Auschwitz! Auschwitz guards! Auschwitz! Auschwitz guards! Auschwitz guards! Auschwitz! Auschwitz guards!
This is where the sheep are going to.
This is what you Auschwitz guards are facilitating this evening. You are facilitating this. You smile. That's because you're an Auschwitz guard. And Auschwitz guards stood on the heads of people, smashed in the brains of babies and smiled, just like you smiled now. That's what they did. The Auschwitz guards in the 30s kicked and trampled pregnant women and smashed the skulls of babies on the ground and laughed and smiled. That's what you're doing with this picture. Auschwitz guards. Remember the 1930s Auschwitz? Where the Auschwitz guards smashed baby skulls on the ground, ripped out babies from women's wombs. And that man there, he smiled when I showed him this picture. He is the same man that would kick a baby. He is the same man that would rip a baby from a woman's womb, as the Auschwitz guards did in the 1930s. He smiled at this picture. Why wouldn't he smile and do the same thing then? This is Auschwitz 2015. What is the difference, gentlemen? What is the difference? This is Auschwitz 2015. Sergeant, this is Auschwitz. This is not halal slaughter. This is a typical slaughterhouse picture. This is taken from a British slaughterhouse. This is any British slaughterhouse. The officer here seems to think it's funny. But then maybe smashing a baby's skull back in 1930s Auschwitz. Maybe ripping the baby out of a womb of a woman. Maybe that would be funny. Maybe killing old men would be funny to this man. Gassing, executing, murdering. This is what this is now, 2015. This is Auschwitz. You are Auschwitz guards. You are Belsen, Dachau, Treblinka. You are the guards today facilitating this. This is what you need to take home. Take this to your children. Take this to your families. Tell them, I was responsible. I did this evening. Sergeant Lawrence, say to yourself, say to your children, I did this evening. I facilitated this evening. This is what these officers are facilitating. Every officer here, every guard, Auschwitz guard behind these gates is facilitating this. This is what they are here to stand for. They are standing here for this. This is a typical British slaughterhouse. This is not halal. All slaughter is slaughter. No animal chooses to die. There is no animal on the face of the earth which wants to die in a slaughterhouse. This officer here found it funny when I presented with this picture. This officer here, maybe smashing the heads of babies in Auschwitz in the 1930s, maybe that was funny. Maybe ripping babies from the wombs of women in the 1930s and early 40s in Auschwitz, Dachau, Belsen, Treblinka, maybe that would have been funny. The officers then certainly found it funny. To trample to death babies, to trample to death pregnant women, to trample to death old men. Auschwitz guards in the 1930s and 1940s found that funny. And maybe some officers here today find this funny. And in fact, the last time I was here, one of the officers was actually recommending zoophilia towards these animals. How sick is that? There are officers among Kent Police who believe that zoophilia, having sex with animals, is acceptable. Sergeant Lawrence, do you think it is acceptable that one of your officers should think that having sex with animals is acceptable? Zoophilia, one of your officers thought was acceptable. Should anyone be in the ranks of the police who thinks that sex with animals is acceptable? This is what you are facilitating tonight. This is what you are facilitating. And where's this animal's mother?